Let's go. All right, today we're in a little bit more of an intimate setting, a little bit closer here. We're going over 1 Timothy 4:12. It says, "Let no one despise you for your youth, but set the believers an example in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, in purity." Let's hear that one more time. 1 Timothy 4:12. "Let no one despise you for your youth, but set the believers an example in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, in purity." Let's break this down. If we are going to be an example, which you should be. You are young, maybe you don't have tons of money. Maybe you don't have tons of fame or connections, or people just don't know much about you. But one thing that you do have is that you're young. So the amount of mistakes that you've made should be a little bit less than people that are much older than you. And maybe you've made a bunch of mistakes. Okay, who cares about that? You're young, which means you have a lot of energy. You should, at least. If you're getting good sleep, eating healthy, and you're staying off of drugs, alcohol, jacking off all the time, and wasting time on video games, all those things, eating unhealthy food, not exercising. If you're doing all the right things, you should have tons of energy. And you're young, which means you have so much vitality and energy about you that you can go out and you have so much time. Because if you're not married and don't have kids, wowzers, you got tons of time now to be able to utilize your youth. So don't let your youth be wasted on you. Right? I hate just saying like don't do this, don't do that. So I want to tell you some things to do. Right in here it's saying, but set the believers an example in speech. So it's telling us exactly what to do. In the speech that you say, are you cussing all the time? Let your speech be good. Let no one say, "Oh wow, I wouldn't let them around my kids because they cuss too much." Be able to speak to the highest level of society, the most posh of the posh. If you're putting cuss words in your sentences all the time, I don't want you around my kids. I don't even have kids. I don't even want you around me if you cuss. The people that are in my group, my circle, they don't cuss. There's only one person in that group that cusses, but they're in the group. I can't get them out of the group, right? But the people that I hang out with, so who I spend my time with, the people that I spend 90% of my time with do not cuss. They don't cuss because I don't want those words being in my subconscious. I want good, uplifting, fruitful words to be in my subconscious. Okay, what's next? So be an example in your speech. And here's the crazy thing: is when you're young and people that are older than you see this and they see, wow, that person, that young guy doesn't cuss at all. They're gonna start thinking, wow, okay, what's different about him? And that might inspire them to start not cussing or start being careful what words they put in their mouth. And this includes crass language, dirty jokes, right? Negative language. Keep it positive. Keep good words. Keep good vocabulary. Let's move on. So you've got example in speech and conduct. So what do? Are you going out and partying all the time? Are you going out and just getting drunk all the time, or smoking marijuana all the time, or going and doing to all these raves or concerts and getting drunk or doing drugs or whatever? What do you do with your time? Are you spending all your time just playing video games or just jacking off all the time or wasting your time? Or are you out there reading books, watching educational content, putting out good content, uplifting a brother or a sister? What is your conduct like? Do you have high integrity? Are you somebody who, if there's some old lady that's walking towards the door, are you going to run over and open it for them? Are you somebody that is going to let someone in front of you in line? Are you somebody that's going to help somebody pick something up that's heavy? Are you going to stop on the roadside if somebody needs help? Your conduct. Okay, be an example in speech, in conduct, in love. How are your relationships? Are you showing your significant other love? Even when you don't think they deserve it. Are you showing love to your parents? Maybe they don't like some things that you do. Maybe you guys just think differently. But you are called to love, not just your friend, because that's what everyone does. You're called to love your neighbor, but not just your neighbor. You're called to love your enemy, the one who is against you. That is radical. So be an example in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith. How is your faith? When people say, "Oh man, I'm going through something rough," you say, "But you know what? It's okay because God is with me. God is for me." All things are for my good. All things are for the good of those who are in him. Like, this thing might seem bad, but really it's for me to grow. And God will use it to grow me and to give me blessings. And rejoice always in everything, in the good times, in the bad times. How is your faith? Do people know that you're a believer? Do they understand that your faith is what is driving you? So in believer is an example in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, in purity. That's what this whole thing is about. How pure are your thoughts? How pure are your words? How pure are your actions? How pure is everything about you? Is there a pureness about you? Like, you don't want to seem like self-righteous, but is there a pureness about you? Where you say, you know what, I'm not going to talk about that. I'm not going to do those things. And I'm going to say why I'm not going to do those things. Because the Bible tells us not to do those things. And the Bible tells us to live in a higher standard of living. And tells us to do this, this, and this, which is a higher standard of living. He's called us to be something more, to be set apart from everyone else. 1 Timothy 4:12. Let no one despise you for your youth, but set the believers an example in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and purity. Look at this. Think about it. Reflect on it. Right, we're going to go over it again. If you're trying to get rid of bad habits, focus on building good habits first. Instead of saying, oh, I'm just not going to, I don't know, I'm not going to smoke. That's going to be hard if all the time you're telling yourself, not smoke, don't smoke, don't smoke, don't smoke. Who are you smoking with? Where are you smoking? Are you smoking at home by yourself, or are you smoking with friends? You're smoking with friends, you need to change your friends. That might hurt a little bit, but think about this. What kind of life do you want to have? Do you want to live your entire life smoking with these friends, or do you want to find some friends that are going to uplift you and take you big places? And you can take them big places too. If you're smoking by yourself, okay, well, you're at home. Find something to do. Find some sort of extracurricular event to do, or find some friends to go out and do things with, or find some sort of hobby like hiking or biking or walking or whatever. Find something to do. Go out and create or serve or do something outside of your home. And maybe it's, okay, you're cussing all the time. Well, instead of being like, darn it, stop cussing. Well, if you find yourself cussing, just try to instead, immediately after you cuss, bring some good words into it. Be like, oh man, okay, I cussed. But you know what? This other thing, this is beautiful over here. Just find some way to put good words in. Or you could be, if you cuss, just be like, you know what, okay? You know what, God, I'm really thankful that I still have my legs. Right? Change up what you're speaking, because the way that you start speaking is going to, if you start speaking good, positive things, it's going to naturally push out the negative. That's just how it works, right? The light pushes out darkness. You can't have darkness and then you put light in there and the darkness just hangs around. Like, the darkness goes away. The light illuminates and it pushes the darkness away. So that's exactly how bad habits and good habits work. Bad habits are the darkness and good habits are the light. Once you put the light in, you put good habits in, the light pushes out the darkness. The good habits push out the bad habits and they just disappear. So there's no need to focus on darkness. If I said, man, I really want to get rid of this darkness, darkness go away, darkness go away, darkness go away, it's never going to go away. It's just not. But if I instead be like, you know what, I'm going to bring a flashlight in this room. Bop, bop, no more darkness. Because I decided to bring in light, bring in good habits. That is how you will push out the bad habits. Also, down in the description is the phone number for if you are battling with any sort of addictions to anything. It could be anything. We are going to pray for you. So it can be anonymous. You do not have to say your name. Just say, hey, I am struggling with this. Can you pray for me? And if you're not religious or you don't believe in God, it's crazy. Even if you don't believe in it, it still works. So you might as well do it, because it can't hurt to get a little bit of prayer. And if you don't want the prayer, still reach out, because we're going to get you the resources that you need to be able to escape that addiction. And we're going to come alongside you and help you, because I know how it is being shackled to an affliction. And I do not want anybody else to have to deal with that, because I've experienced the freedom that Jesus has given me. And when he took off those shackles from me, and now, hi helicopter, now I am in freedom, and I want the same exact thing for you. Peace be with you.